Hi, this is Amy Theory,
And Christy Coe.
Program Supervisors for the Learning Assistance Program. In this screencast, we will provide a brief overview of the 2017 menu updates.
I know the menus are updated annually, but this year I noticed they are being published in May. Why so early?
As we were sharing the updates last year, we heard feedback from the field that the menus were needed earlier so they could be used for planning the following school year. So we adjusted our timeline to ensure schools and districts had access to the updates earlier for planning.
If someone has already read and is using the menus, where should they start? Can you highlight what specific updates have been made?
Yes, that's the purpose of this screencast. One of our primary goals this year was to continue to align all three menus. In the Background and Philosophy section, the Multi-Tiered System of Supports, or MTSS section, was updated. This section was in all three menus last year, but we continue to seek feedback from our advisory groups and agency staff to ensure consistent and common messaging on the tiers of support and data-based decision-making.
So if my team has been using the MTSS section, then we should go back and review the updates together?
Yes, that's a great idea. I would also encourage teams using the MTSS section to review the new Washington Integrated Student Supports Protocol.
Can you tell me more about that?
Sure. This section is a companion section to MTSS. The Center for the Improvement of Student Learning is charged with creating a protocol that encourages schools to use needs assessments to identify students' academic and non-academic barriers to learning, collaborate with their community to secure additional resources for students and their families, use data to monitor progress, and strive for a greater alignment across student support services and programs like LAP. Integrated Student Supports does not replace MTSS, but should be used with MTSS.
So I will review the MTSS and ISS sections in the menu as I get started. Is there anything else I should focus on?
Yes, all three menus have new content-specific graphics. And this year, our team focused on best practices in family engagement and kindergarten transitions. These menu entries were extensively reviewed and revised and are similar in all three menus. Kindergarten transitions was identified as a promising practice and was in the ELA menu last year. This year, it was added to the math and behavior menus as well.
So these updates were made in all three menus. Can you tell me more about what specific updates were made to just the ELA menu?
Of course. There were significant improvements to the Background and Philosophy section of the ELA menu. The updates include new information on dual language programs to support English learners, the early literacy pathways that connect early learning and grade level standards, and academic language which highlights the importance of vocabulary, sentence structure, and discourse. The Washington State Foundational Literacy Skills section was expanded and includes resources to support K-3 literacy outcomes. This section also includes two new graphics to support academic language and foundational literacy skills. The foundational literacy skills graphics that you can see here highlights oral language and alphabet knowledge from the National Early Learning Panel and phonemic awareness, phonics, fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension from the National Reading Panel. Research on the foundational literacy skills to support practitioners is in Appendix A of the menu. The academic language graphic highlights vocabulary, sentence structure, and discourse. This graphic is from the work of Margot Gottlieb and Gisela Ernst-Slavic. It is highlighted on the OSPI Migrant Bilingual website and includes an academic language toolkit. Academic language is not only essential for English learners, but for all learners. Also new to the ELA menu this year is an entry focused on literacy strategies to support English learners. This entry highlights strategies that all classroom educators can use to support English learners, and it highlights how LAP can support students who have not yet met grade level standards in English language arts. In addition to updating family engagement and kindergarten transitions, the ELA panel focused on updating the researched imbalanced literacy and Appendix A, specifically focusing on the research around vocabulary and comprehension. What content-specific updates were made to the math menu?
There were two new additions to the Background and Philosophy section of the math menu this year. The updates include new information on cross-curricular teaching practices and academic language, which highlights the importance of vocabulary, representing information, and discourse. This section also includes a new graphic to support academic language. In addition to updating the family engagement entry and adding kindergarten transitions to the menu, the math panel focused on updating the research in grade 8 to high school transitions. The academic language graphic highlights vocabulary, representing information, and discourse. Academic language is critical to student outcomes in mathematics and should incorporate more than simply teaching vocabulary.
What content-specific updates were made to the behavior menu?
There were significant improvements to the background and philosophy section of the behavior menu this year. This section also includes a new graphic highlighting social-emotional learning. Restorative justice and trauma-informed approaches were both new entries in last year's update, and both are relatively new practices in schools. So emerging research and innovative practices are current and ongoing. Both entries were updated this year to include new research, resources, and references. This is the new graphic that focuses on social-emotional learning. This section was updated to highlight the social-emotional learning benchmarks and standards developed by the Benchmarks Workgroup.
Wow, that's a lot of updates. How am I going to remember all of this?
Yes, but we've tried to make it easy. We've used asterisks in the menu on the table of contents to indicate new and updated entries. We've also updated the menu flyers. The asterisks provide an at-a-glance look at what's new and updated this year.
How do I access these updates? Are the menus in the same place they were last year?
Let me show you. Go to the OSPI website at k12.wa.us. Then you can either click on the Learning Assistance Program link, or you can type ELA, Math, or Behavior menu into the search box. This takes you to the LAP webpage.
It looks like a lot of helpful information can be found on this webpage.
Yes, let me point out a few key features. If you haven't signed up to receive updates about LAP, the first thing I would do is click this link.
Good to know.
If you do LAP data reporting, these LAP data tips flyers will be helpful as districts are completing the data collection by July 1st. These one-pagers were created this year to help clarify what information is collected and reported for the end-of-year LAP report.
Where should I go to find the menus?
Here are the links to all three menus. If you click on the menu link you are interested in, you will be directed to this webpage. Here you can download a digital copy or print the menu and/or the Menus of Best Practices flyer that you saw earlier.
What would you suggest? Should I just print it, or should I use the electronic version?
Several educators have reported that printing the menu and passing it out to staff has been beneficial. The electronic version is also beneficial because there are hyperlinks throughout the menus. When looking at resources, you're only one click away.
Awesome! I will remember that. How can I learn more about using the menus? Are there additional presentations or resources available?
Our website includes information on LAP and additional screencasts to support implementing the menus. The LAP team will be presenting the new family engagement entry at Starting Strong in August. We are currently working with regional coordinators to provide workshops across the state. These workshops are designed for teams to attend and should include a decision maker such as a principal, superintendent, and/or LAP director. The implementation workshops highlight how to improve systems and support implementing the menus. We are also working on menu workshops to provide educators with a deeper dive into the menu content and entries to help ensure best practices are implemented effectively to support students who have not yet met grade level standards.
These workshops sound great. I will look for them in my area. Is there anything else that you're working on?
We are hoping to get more feedback from educators on how they are implementing the menus. We frequently get questions regarding what practices are effective and how schools are implementing this work. Please reach out to us and let us know how the menus have impacted student growth.
How would I reach out to you?
You can email the LAP team with your success stories. We would love to share how you are effectively implementing the menus. We hope to hear from you.
Have a great day.